the way sadhana is taught is pretty scientific. It's first thing in the morning, before you get involved talking, before you talk, before you listen, because the process is called, it's called Shravana Kirtanam Smaranam. Shravanam means to Shravanam Kirtanam means to listen. Kirtanam means to repeat, to discuss, to talk. So are the three phases to trap the mind and to cleanse the mind. First, to listen. So when you do sadhana, you're like, you're reading, you're cleansing your mind, you're bathing your mind. I mean, this is the fundamental of relationships yoga. The mind is a sponge and it's an antenna. Okay? The mind is a sponge and it's an antenna. And we said that the purpose of yoga is to control the mind, because the mind is where it's the hub where everything happens. So if you have a pure mind, if you have a calm mind, if you have a serene mind, if you have a controlled mind, you are a calm, serene, peaceful, controlled person. If your mind is agitated, then you cannot be in peace, no matter what peace is around you. But if around you there's noise, there's disturbance, there's people are all emotional, have negative emotions and porcus left and right, and your mind is clean and pure, it will not be affected because the antenna works this way. I'm just reviewing one of the probably the most important thing about the whole harmonic circle practice. The mind is a sponge and the mind is an antenna. If early in the morning, before I let stuff in, I fill my mind, it's a sponge in the morning, at night it squeezes and dreams, it archives all the impressions, the experiences. So the mind in the morning is fresh. And so when you wake up, if you fill your mind with good vibes, with good sounds, with nice mantras and nice music, and with good thoughts, elevated thoughts, you read Soid, or you read other things that are uplifting, that are giving you a nice vision about existence, a positive outlook, a meaningful outlook, and that gives you enthusiasm, that gives you inspiration, uplifting thoughts. You do that in the morning, first thing in the morning. Then you do the presence exercise, or vice versa. You do the presence exercise. Ideally, the scientific sadhana would be wake up, do some physical activation, then relaxation, breathing, then presence exercise, then reading. And then journaling about your reading and writing down the sentence that you like the most, send it out to the group and connect to the group. This scientific process gives you the maximum results in mind control and the minimum effort to do things that yogis took years in the caves in the Himalayas to reach the same results. But nowadays, if you do this in this sequence effectively, you can have incredible breakthroughs in consciousness. So it is something to be done in the morning before you go out in the day. Then when your mind has filled with juicy, good vibrations, it's like a sponge that fills up with nice water, clean crystal water. Even if someone throws ink at it, it won't, the ink, which represents the negative thoughts and feelings, will not penetrate because the sponge is nice and full of already. And so this is a metaphor to describe why we do sadhana, full sadhana in the morning before we go out in the day. Because then you have the whole day to live the benefit of sadhana. But if I wake up and after 2 hours I already had 7 parkus, your day is done. Those vibrations will stay in your aura. You don't have to go there. You have to take remedy before you go there. And it's a constant discipline to be done every day, 7 days out of 7. The 5 minimum is minimum. 5. But because shit happens, unexpectedly, we may get fever, there may be some emergency, something happens. That's why we should plan to do sadhana every day. So that then if we skip a day for some reason or 2 days for some reason, we at least we have the minimum 5. That's the way it should work. And then, because the mind, lastly, is a radio, the radio means that you pick up the frequencies that you have in the morning, whatever you set your mind to, you are turning the knob of the radio from depressing thoughts to sad thoughts to unhappy thoughts to positive vibes to enthusiastic thoughts. You know the word enthusiasm, what it means? A person who's really doing harmonic circle, a person who's really doing sadhana, is enthusiastic by definition. If they're depressed, bored, dragging along, they're not doing their sadhana. Because you know what enthusiastic means? En means inside. Theos is God. Feeling God inside. To be enthusiastic means you feel the divine inside. Now, is the divine sad? By definition, the divine is like the sun. The sun is the greatest universal symbol of the divine. So in the morning, you may want to meditate on the sun rising in your mind, in your heart. That's a very powerful image. And if you do it in the morning every day, Mima, Soul Magic, try this for 1 week and count your porcus. You'll see that if you do sadhana in the morning, you will not have all this distress and your mind going here, there, and feeling this and that. You're going to be serene. You're going to be happy. You're going to be content. You're going to be thankful for life, and life will be great. Of course, there's going to be hiccups, but it won't be like a constant feeling of not getting it.